Hello, hello! I'm the official name rater. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're going to look at Koffing and Weezing, and I'm going to attempt Galarian Weezing, but I'm going to be honest with you, based on how Galarian Ponyta and Rapidash went, I have very, very low expectations. I did a small search just to see if there were any links, and there was like a few, so you're probably not going to get too much, but maybe whatever we find for regular Weezing might be good enough to where you could apply it to the Galarian form if you so choose, anyway. Okay, so first thing first, Weezer's absolute garbage. Biohazard. This guy has taken this name and done it in 3 different variants. One without the hyphen, one with the hyphen, and one where it just said biohaz. I'm starting to question him and his own, if he understands what he's doing. But Biohazard is a good generic poison type nickname you could throw to anybody and it'll fit. Freak Show is another one I actually like, and I believe I have it written down. I don't know if we've gone over it on the show before or not, but I like that as a nickname. And then the rest is no. Beijing I'm okay with. I know we've seen cities before, and I said that they were okay. And the beta name for, I believe, both Koffing, Grimer, Muck, Weezing was New York and LA. So that also kind of fits pretty well. But yeah, if you wanted to do it after a city, that's totally fine. I have no problems with Beijing. We'll go ahead and go over Asbestos and Emphysema together. If you want to, they're there. Honestly, the only thing I can think of each time I hear them is those fucking annoying ads and commercials that, if you or a loved one have been exposed to this, you may be entitled to some lawsuit, whatever. I don't care. I'm just acknowledging them because I know they exist, and I'm sure it probably won't be the last time we see them. Jupiter I'm okay with. It makes sense, and I think naming after planets is also totally acceptable. There's not really too much to say about it. Okay, so I remember for Chugga's Pokemon Crystal thing, he had a shiny Weezing named Methane. What I didn't know is because highly toxic blue gas. I just thought it was oh, methane, that's a thing, and that's it. But I guess the color variant is nice if you ever have a shiny. Other words, I think that's a fine nickname. I know it's used. There's not much more to it. Alright, I'm going to acknowledge it because I've seen a lot of cigarette jokes as well, and Secondhand is the most clever out of them. If you want to do it, it's fine. I don't care. That's all. I've also seen Weezer twice now. If you're talking the band, which I assume is what it is, that's totally fine. I just think it's 2-letter difference, so it's not that special to me. I'm just oh, it's I don't know, it's just not for me, that's all. If Weezing itself had a different name, it'd be fine, but it's just 2 letters. Alright, so before I go on with these two, I do want to mention, there's a lot of things I'm passing that are just on the same wavelength. So oh, here's monoxide, dioxide, other gases, and it's Marlboro. Do you get it? It's the same thing we basically covered. So just know that it's I see these. I'm just not saying it because I feel like it'd be redundant to literally go over every single gas in the entire world. We just don't need to waste our time with it. You can look at something, you can be yeah, but what about this? And if that works for you, go for it. But these two, Laughing Gas, I'm honestly beginning to think I shouldn't have even tried recording today. Anyway, Laughing Gas I really like. I think it's clever. I think that one works good. Stink Bomb I've seen before, and I think I even used that back before, just as a placeholder. It's oh yeah, it's something, but it's kind of on the lines of T-Entry with Exeggutor, where it feels like it's kind of giving away that you probably have Explosion, but at the same time, just the idea of a Stink Bomb in general is a good name. So I'm half and half on those. They're both fine. Ozone Slayer is kind of cute. I actually do want to bring this up just because I like the CH3 thing and all that. I think that's a very clever use of doing something like that. So I'm going to highlight this just as a You did a good job. I'm proud of you, son. I just want to point out this guy's Pinterest thingy literally is just copy and pasting every single thing on the Tumblr, guys. Alright, so that's the bottom of this. I'm gonna try and see if adding Galarian changes anything, but again, I do not have high expectations because it's just so new. So, we'll see what happens. Sherlock foams. I'm okay with that. That's clever. Alright, I'm saying this because this is getting on my nerves. I understand why, because tall hat. Shut up with Doug Dimmadome. I liked Fairy Lied Parents too. It's not that funny. You can stop. It's also not, like, you can stop calling them bongs too. That's also very annoying. Like, that's the thing I don't like about the internet. You hear a joke once and you're like, okay, that's fine. And then you hear it by 7.7 billion different people all at the same time, and you're like, okay, you can all collectively shut the fuck up now, please. Alright, that's the bottom of that, and there really wasn't too much, see? There's a lot of, like, here's what your third people think of the Weezing, and that's it. Like, there's not very little as far as actual nicknames. But I figured, like, a couple links maybe would have been enough to justify trying to go over it anyway. So, next up, spreadsheet. I don't really care about any of these. The closest I think is worth mentioning is this. So, there you go. I don't really care. Nothing on there interests me. And in general, I think we got a decent amount of, like, okay Koffing and Weezing nicknames, but nothing in particular that, like, reaches out to me on such a level where I'm like, oh yeah, that's the best. I mean, Sherlock Foams is good. I like that. That's like the good Galarian Weezing nickname and the only one. Everyone else is busy shouting Doug Dimmadome and har 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 weed bong pot. Sometimes I think I'm too cynical for the internet. Anyway, the stuff on there that the one I like best, I think honestly is just Laughing Gas. I think that one's the best, but I still don't think it's at that level enough where I'm like in love with it. So it's like, it's good and I like it, but I'm not so in love with it where I'm like, I need this right now. And then methane was a common one. Any sort of noxious gas, or even just the word noxious, anything, we've seen it a bunch, and I didn't feel the need to go over every single one, but there's that for you. Stink Bomb I thought was okay. I know I've used that as a placeholder before. It might still even be my thing because fucking have to rebreed stupid idiot Pokemon to change a nickname because they won't allow me to change nicknames from past generations. I hate you. Other words, Jupiter was really the only other one. I mean, I have Cyanide written down here, but I feel like that, again, that's kind of on the same wavelength of methane and all the other stuff we've seen, so it's fine. There's nothing particularly special to me, but, like, it wasn't a bust. It was just, like, a bunch of okay to decent stuff, and that's about it. So, please, swoon me with your best Weezing nickname, or Galarian Weezing nickname. Make me fawn over your creative ideas, and the rest of the internet, because we want that. So, post them in the comments, and that's that. Thumbs up the good ones and stuff.